Picture this. Your phone buzzes with an urgent alert, the kind that sends a chill down your spine. Explosions rock Tehran, sirens wail in Tel Aviv, and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is calling for millions to evacuate Iran's capital right now. It's June 17th, 2025, and the Iran-Israel conflict, now in its fifth relentless day, is teetering on the edge of a catastrophe that could reshape the Middle East and ripple across the globe. This isn't just another regional skirmish, it's a crisis that's spiking oil prices, grounding flights, and putting the world on high alert. So what's happening right now? Why is everyone talking about this unprecedented air war? Most importantly, what does it mean for the people caught in the crossfire, for global markets, and for the future of international diplomacy? Buckle up, because I'm diving straight into the heart of this geopolitical storm, breaking it down like you're hearing it for the first time, with all the urgency and clarity you need to grasp what's at stake. 5 days ago, everything changed. Israel launched a surprise attack on Iran, one of the most audacious in its history. Precision airstrikes obliterated nuclear facilities, took out top military commanders, and even targeted key scientists tied to Tehran's atomic program. The goal: to slam the brakes on Iran's nuclear ambitions, a red line for Israel that's non-negotiable. Iran hit back hard, unleashing hundreds of ballistic missiles on Tel Aviv, Haifa, and even Jerusalem, spreading chaos and destruction. As we speak, the toll is grim. 224 dead in Iran, mostly civilians, and 24 in Israel, all civilians. Thousands have been evacuated, nearly 3,000 in Israel alone, where entire neighborhoods lie in ruins. In Tehran, plumes of smoke rise from the city's east after morning blasts, and residents describe a gut-wrenching mix of fear and fury as this war shows no signs of slowing down. What makes this moment so volatile is the involvement of global powers and the shockwaves it's sending worldwide. From the G7 summit in Canada, Donald Trump drops a bombshell on Truth Social, urging Tehran's 10 million residents to flee immediately, claiming Iran could have avoided this by agreeing to curb its nuclear program. His words are raw, almost apocalyptic. What a waste. What a loss of human life. Iran cannot have the nuclear bomb. I've said it over and over. This isn't just rhetoric, it's a signal of the intense U.S. pressure on Iran, coupled with quiet backing of Israel's offensive. Yet Trump dangles a diplomatic lifeline, insisting a deal is still possible. He's cut his G7 trip short to huddle with his National Security Council in Washington, a move that screams urgency. Iran, though, isn't staying quiet. Foreign Minister Abbas Araki takes 2x, firing back that if Trump is serious about diplomacy, he needs to push Israel for an immediate ceasefire. In return, Iran hints at flexibility in nuclear talks. It's a bold, almost desperate offer, revealing how cornered Tehran feels. Iran's reaching out to Oman, Qatar, and even Saudi Arabia to lean on the US and de-escalate. But for now, the strikes rage on. Iranian media broadcast footage of anti-aircraft defenses lighting up Tehran's skies, while explosions rock Natanz, where the uranium enrichment plant has been crippled, likely 15,000 centrifuges destroyed. According to IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi, Fordo, another key nuclear site, seems spared for now. These strikes aren't just about dismantling Iran's nuclear program. Iran flexes reels, saying it owns Iran's airspace and won't hesitate to hit again. Beyond the missiles and military chess moves, this conflict is upending lives and economies on a massive scale. In Tehran, daily life is unraveling. Residents describe panic in the streets. People swarm money exchanges, fearing their currency will collapse under the weight of international sanctions and war. Others try to flee, but airports across the region are shut and roads are gridlocked. Imagine the dread of not knowing if your home will stand tomorrow or if your family will be safe. China's embassy in Israel has urged its citizens to leave via land borders, a stark sign of the region's insecurity. In Israel, air raid sirens pierce the night in Tel Aviv just after midnight, sending people scrambling to shelters. Residential buildings are reduced to rubble, and rescue teams dig through debris around the clock. Israel's economy, already strained, takes a hit with closed airspace and ports, while Haifa's oil refinery, damaged in an Iranian strike, grinds to a halt, driving up global oil prices. Let's talk oil, because this crisis is hitting wallets worldwide. Markets are in a frenzy. Crude prices jumped over 2% in Asia after Trump's evacuation call, reversing a brief dip when Iran signaled it wanted to end hostilities. Why? Iran's a major oil player, and any disruption to its exports could trigger a global shock. Picture gas prices soaring in places like the US, India, or Germany, hitting consumers hard. Goldman Sachs analysts warn that if Iran's oil exports tank, Brent crude could hit $90 a barrel before easing in 2026. If OPEC heavyweights like Saudi Arabia ramp up production. For now, uncertainty rules, and every blast in Tehran or Tel Aviv fuels trader anxiety. Politically, this crisis is testing global diplomacy to its limits. G7 leaders call for de-escalation, labeling Iran a source of instability, while affirming Israel's right to self-defense. French President Emmanuel Macron claims Trump floated a ceasefire, a claim Trump shoots down, accusing Macron of grandstanding. This spat exposes the challenge of aligning world powers. Iran, meanwhile, looks isolated. Its allies like Syria and Hezbollah are weakened, forcing Tehran to rely on mediators like Oman to get its message out. But Iran is playing a high-stakes game. Some lawmakers threaten to pull out of the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, a move that could slam the door on negotiations and escalate tensions further. This conflict is also a human tragedy unfolding in real time. In Iran, 90% of the 224 victims are civilians, including many children, like the 30 killed in a 14-story building in Tehran. In Israel, families mourn 24 lost lives, and thousands of evacuees wonder when they'll return home. This air war, the fiercest ever between these longtime foes, spares no one. It echoes crises like India-Pakistan flare-ups, where targeted strikes risked spiraling into all-out war. But the nuclear stakes here make it scarier. If Iran restarts a weapons program in retaliation, or if Israel escalates to topple Tehran's regime, the fallout could be catastrophic. A regional war, a humanitarian disaster, and maybe even direct involvement from powers like the US or Russia. In the short term, the region's paralyzed. Closed airports strand tens of thousands, and mass evacuations spark displacements reminiscent of Syria's war. In the medium term, without a ceasefire, the Middle East could slide deeper into chaos. Iran, battered by sanctions, risks economic collapse, potentially sparking domestic unrest. In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's gambling his political future. A successful campaign could cement his power, but a drawn-out war might fracture public support. For the world, the specter of an oil crisis and runaway inflation looms large. So, where do we go from here? No one's sure. Trump's keeping diplomacy on the table, but his evacuation call signals resolve. Iran's toggling between defiance and pragmatism, trying to save face while avoiding total disaster. What's clear is every passing hour makes this more unpredictable. Civilians caught between missiles and power plays bear the heaviest cost. This crisis lays bare a brutal truth. In geopolitical showdowns, the powerful reshape millions of lives in a heartbeat. And you? What do you think? Can diplomacy still pull this back from the brink, or are we staring down a bigger disaster? Drop your thoughts because this story's about all of us.